Hi, I'm Danny Brown and I'm the CEO of Myriad Real Estate Group, and this is our October market update. So not a lot has changed from last month to this month except for mortgage rates. Mortgage rates went up quite a bit. The Fed came out and did another 75 basis point hike, which was very much predicted in the markets, which is why mortgage rates were as high as they were. Mortgage rates didn't go up as a result of the Fed hike. They actually went up because they were expecting the Fed to hike rates the way that they did. And why did the Fed hike rates by 75 basis points? Well, it's because inflation actually went up month over month by 0.1%. Had that stayed at zero or actually gone down, I think we'd be having a very different conversation. As of right now, mortgage rates are directly tied to the rate of inflation. So as soon as the rate of inflation starts to crack and go down, we will see mortgage rates start to slide as well. The only way that mortgage rates remain high and continue to go up is if the economy is still churning and doing really well. I don't know about you, but we're definitely feeling the pinch, and I don't think the economy is doing as well as it has been. So I do think that those rates will start to come down, especially as inflation cracks and starts to go down as well. In the grand scheme of things, a rate at 7%, while it feels high because we have gone up so fast off the lows, historically 7% is not that terrible. I bought my first house in 2001 and the interest rate that I paid on my mortgage was 6.7%. So we have seen these rates before. Last time we saw rates in the sevens was back around 2008 is when we saw that. So it's not unprecedented to have rates at this level. The hard part is the price of the homes has gone up so high so fast as well. So if you can afford a home at an interest rate of 7%, I still think that this is a great time to purchase a property. In fact, I believe that this is the best time to be a buyer since 2014. We're in a market where there's a ton of buyers on the sidelines. They're all still there. We have the largest demographic in US history that is entering that peak home buyer age, which is kind of your mid-30s. So your oldest millennials are 40s. And a knock against millennials that we always hear is that they are living with mom and dad still. Well, if you're in your mid-30s to 40s and you're still living at home with mom and dad, you're not happy about it. You really want to get out into your own place. And so you're either renting, which a lot of renters want to own, or you're purchasing a property. So all those people still want to buy. So that demand is still there. And so if you are in this market or you have considered purchasing a property or you can afford the monthly payment despite the high rate, you have no competition. So the properties that are listed for sale, we're getting really, really good deals on. We just closed on one last week that was listed at $470. Our buyer got it for $400,000 plus some closing cost assistance. So there are some really fantastic deals to be had in this market because there is no competition. So one of the best hacks in real estate right now are open door properties. They have about 1,700 homes in their inventory. We have about 17,000 listings total, so they're making up 10% of our market. They don't like that. They don't want to have that much market share, so they are fire saling a lot of these homes. You get to pick the closing date, they're paying closing costs, and they are reducing those prices quite a bit. So if you are a buyer in this market, I highly recommend that you look at those open door properties because you can get an amazing deal on that home and you can get them to cover some of your closing costs, which will help you end up buying your rate down potentially so that you can make your payment that much more affordable. If you are a seller in this market, you've got to be very patient. You have one chance to make a first impression, so you want your home to be as perfect as possible. For example, we have a client that is getting ready to list their home, and they asked me if they should paint the exterior of their house. I said, absolutely. It's going to make it look super fresh, look new, and it's really going to pop in the photos. They asked me if they were going to get a dollar for dollar return on painting the home, and I said no, they're probably not. However, it's going to make your home look as great as it possibly can, and that's what buyers are looking for. Buyers that are in this market are being incredibly selective on the homes that they want to purchase, and they need to be in really, really good shape or priced accordingly. So the list your junk market that we were in is definitely gone. So if you're a seller that backs to a major street, a school, the interior needs work, you're gonna have to drastically discount your pricing in this market because it's so slow so that somebody can recognize a good deal. If you are in a position where you don't back to one of those roads, I recommend doing any of those upgrades, stainless steel appliances, granite or quartz countertops, refreshing the paint, updated landscaping. If your carpet is worn and stained, replacing that. All of that stuff really matters in today's market. So the biggest obstacle that we're facing in the real estate market are obviously these interest rates. So high prices, high interest rates means high monthly payment. So what can you do as a buyer to combat this? Well, there are several things that you can do. One is called a 2-1 buy down. So this is where you get the seller to contribute just over 2% of the purchase price towards your closing costs. This will directly buy your mortgage rate down by 2 full percentage points for the first year that you're in the home. The second year you're in the home, it will go up by 1 percentage point. Third year through 30, it's locked in at whatever the rate was when you got the mortgage. So not at that time's rate, but at today's rates. The nice thing about that is I believe within the next 6 to 12 months, we are going to be in a recession. And in 100% of US recessions, mortgage rates have come down, and they've come down an average of 2 percentage points. So you will have an opportunity to refinance that rate into a 15 or 30-year fixed. Some other options are ARMs. I know ARMs got a bad rap leading up to the 2008 housing market crisis. These are not the same ARMs. These are very much buyer-friendly tools that the buyer is protected because of the existence of an organization called the CFPB, and they are set up to protect us, the consumers. And so for an ARM, your rate is locked in for 5, 7, or 10 years. Me personally, if I was buying a home in this market, I would do a 5-year ARM. So you're locked in at a lower rate for 5 years, and then it adjusts based on where rates are at today, but that adjustment is limited. So it's not going to skyrocket to whatever rates are if they're actually higher than today's rates, which I don't think they will be. And I think in the next 5 years, you will absolutely have an opportunity to refinance that into a lower fixed mortgage at 15 or 30 years. There is a lot of fear out there. There's a lot of unknowns in the economy, in the world. My personal belief is that the greatest path to wealth in our country starts with home ownership. And when everybody else is selling and nobody's buying, that's when Warren Buffett buys. He's one of the wealthiest people on the planet. And therefore, I believe that this is a very good time to buy a home because nobody else is in the market. So again, zero competition means that you get repairs. We're closing on one this week where we got closing costs, the home appraised for $30,000 more than the contract price, and we got the seller to replace the roof. So there are really good deals out there for savvy buyers who are wanting to get into the market. And I firmly believe that homes that you buy today will be worth more in the future. And the average homeowner now is in a home for 13 years. So you got to think long-term, not short-term. So if there is a pullback in the market, experts are estimating that that could be somewhere between 5 and 10% because there is just not enough housing available for the number of people in our country that want to live in it. So that hasn't changed. That's what caused the run-up over the last 2 years. That fundamentally has not changed. We don't just miraculously all of a sudden have more homes available. So based on that, just based on that overall supply, I think homes will be worth more in the future. So you got to think long-term, not short-term. I know there's a lot of uncertainty out there, but if you can afford that monthly payment, get in there, we negotiate hard, and we can get you a good deal. If you're a seller in this market, you got to be patient and you got to present the best possible product that you can because buyers have choices. The few buyers that are out there have choices. I hope you found this video and market update valuable. Please give it a like and a thumbs up, and we will see you next time.